So we had been expecting these sit-downs on Monday.
Yeah, that's right. We had this marked in the calendar for Monday and Tuesday of this week that Evergrande would be meeting with key creditors for these so-called scheme meetings, and quite a big agenda and focus as well, because we know that Evergrande is trying to pull off a major debt restructuring of its offshore liabilities. But as you say, the plans, they have been scrapped. Now, why exactly? One of the reasons that Evergrande is pointing to, actually you can see in this chart here, is sales prices or new home prices that have come in weaker than expected. You can see there on a metre squared basis that gross area sold, we are still ticking down on a metre squared basis. So those home sales being weaker than expected, that Evergrande says has forced them to rethink the entire restructuring plan. But the other part as well that's playing into it is what else came out in their statement, saying that Evergrande is reassessing the proposal to meet the demands of creditors. Now, which creditors exactly, what demands they're making as well, that part wasn't so clear. But we do know that a key stakeholder at these meetings should have been Class C creditors. Now, Class C, they are a major bondholder or major creditors for Evergrande. And so far, we understand from sources that they've been largely unsupportive of the overhaul plans, because for Evergrande to push this restructuring through, it needs 75% support from Class C creditors. So far, it's sitting around the 30% mark, or that's at least what we heard back when we last had a market update on this in April.
Do we have a schedule for the new meetings?
That is also not clear as yet. So Evergrande says essentially that it's going to be waiting to make any further announcements when it says it has an update to share with investors. So the precedent, though, we do have for this sort of delay, because Evergrande was actually supposed to meet with key creditors, including Class C ones, back at the end of August. But these were also postponed. And Evergrande said at that point that they wanted to give creditors more time to consider or to evaluate the restructuring plan, and also because there were recent developments, because Evergrande, of course, shares were starting to retrade after a very prolonged trading halt. But Class C creditors, it really does appear now that they are emerging as a key hurdle. If Evergrande can't win them over, as they say, it would really risk or jeopardize the entire restructuring process. And very difficult as well to get a sense check on exactly what they're thinking, because Class C creditors are very opaque and not very much is known about them, who exactly makes up this group as well.